Hello, viewers. This is Michael from Scooby Reviews, bringing my 715 podcast. This is my 715 podcast. Like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I'll try to do my best not to bitch or hog during this RE podcast recording as well, not to cause any RE feedback as well. And also, if you're under 18, this RE podcast recording will contain show adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this iPodcast recording will change your adult language. Now, if you're over 18, that means you get to watch this audio podcast recording. Now, with this and anything else out the way, let's get into the. I don't know. Oh, sorry. I have a stuffy nose, y'all. Allergies. All right. Let's get into the topic. Let's get into the topic of this podcast. Recently, yesterday, the second season of Wednesday came out, part one. So basically, part one is just of 4 episodes, and the second part will also consist of 4 episodes as well. So altogether, season two will have eight. It will combined together. Season two is made of 8 episodes. So basically, the first part being four episodes, the second part I mean, the first part being 4 episodes, the second part being another 4 episodes. So anyway, so basically, I'm going to talk about everything that happens in part one of Wednesday season two. I gotta say, mm, I really like. I feel like I want to talk about Pugsley. So basically, I'm glad that Pugsley that they're like or I'm glad that to see Pugsley being used in the second season. But as usual, throughout throughout the many different Adam families, there've been many different versions of like there've been in live action. There've been many different versions of Pugsley in live action. Most of them, but all those live action Pugsleys, whether they be in TV or movie, or live action movie or live action TV series, they don't really have any character development throughout the live action movies or television series, unless they're the animated ones. So basically, the only time we see the only time we see Pugsley, any version of Pugsley Adams have any type of character development or a personality is only in animation. So basically, the animated cartoon, some of the animated, the old school animated cartoon, and from the current and current and from the current animated movies, that's the only time we see Pugsley with any type of character development and an individual personality. But the series is trying to break that cycle when it comes to Pugsley. Actually give him some decent character development and have him having him find having him find his own individual personality as well. So basically, we're doing something with Pugsley in this series. So basically, but the whole zombie plot, the current plot of Pugsley, bringing the zombie back, is kind of it's kind of like it feels kind of dumb how it happened, but at least they're I'm hoping that once it picks up, and plus once it picks up in the second half, that the whole zombie part of Pugsley, of Pugsley bringing back bringing like a dead person as a zombie, and plus his elected powers will be, it seems like the whole part of Pugsley bringing back his army, thinking he's basically desperately wants a friend and whatnot. It's kind of a little bit weak, but at least they're doing something with Pugsley. As for Emmett, ever since ever since Wednesday in her little her little gang had say nevermore for the high attack from Tyler, who was the Hyde, being initiated by Christina Ricci, the original one of the original Wednesdays from the movies. The crew has been kind of been feeling themselves and dealing with their own problems. So basically, especially Emmett, ever since she transformed into a werewolf form, she's kind of been like it's kind of been like she's all that, and basically I feel sorry that she ghosted Jax like that, because Jax, I feel like Jax deserved better. Hey, like a heads up, like I'm dating her. Ever since Emmett, you transform into a werewolf, she's been kind of like thinking that she's the head, she's all that and whatnot. And basically, we see the rift between Emmett enjoying her fame, but when enjoying the fame of helping Wednesday, say nevermore from Tyler the Hyde as well. So anyway, also the Cyan girl, I forgot her name. Her situation with her mother, being part of that cult, it's gonna be, that storyline might play. It's gonna play a major. It might be. Either gonna play a major role in the second half of the. It's gonna play a major role in the second half of the season, but we just have to wait and see as well. But her hooking up with Jax, I'm down with that. Cause she's in a hard place right now with the new principal threatening to cost her scholarship and whatnot. So basically the school is right now needs a big donor to keep the schools. So the new principal is making sure to using that poor silent girl to try to get Morticia to get her witch mother, grandmama, to make a big donation to Nevermore to Nevermore to keep the school going. But I just feel Gomez, honestly, the new principal could have just asked Gomez for the money, because Gomez is a billionaire. A lot of people don't know this. Gomez is Gomez is a billionaire. So basically, Gomez is worth to $2.5 billion. Like I said before, Gomez Adams is worth $2.5 billion. So basically, Gomez is the so basically, Gomez is in the top. It's number 12 and the top in the top 15 with his fictional characters ever. So basically, I feel like why you go the new principal is just going through this. Trying to get Matricia's mom to donate money, but he could just easily ask Gomez for the money, because Gomez is rich as hell. Gomez is a goddamn billionaire. So basically, the new principal, played by Steve Buscemi, honestly, could have just easily asked Gomez for a huge donation, just like that. Like, cause Gomez, what we see Gomez loves Nevermore. He went to Nevermore. He would do anything for Nevermore. So basically, Gomez Gomez can just easily sign a check. Just can easily sign a check, and make a huge donation. Just easily sign a check and make a huge donation to Nevermore, and the new prison will have to jump through hoops to even try to get Morticia's grandmama to donate money to the school. Now, as for Wednesday herself. I gotta say that Wednesday is trying to Wednesday always had that personality, that determined personality to do things by herself, and to do things by herself. But at the same time, at the same time that's her biggest weakness. So basically, she does do ask people to help, well, unless she needs to. But at the same time, she is pushing herself further away to her friends, her family members, and her friends, and her friends. So basically, and plus her second, and the way that she's abusing her psychic ability, she's doing way too much. So basically, I can't blame Patricia for for taking Goody Allen's book from her, because she's just trying to do everything and by herself, and not really thinking about the consequences of her actions and whatnot. Especially when it came to her, misusing her psychic powers, even though she needed to to patiently wait to a new spirit guide to help her figure out her psychic powers a bit more. So basically, I feel like Wednesday is just hey, don't worry. Only it's like she's like in the first season, but more closed-minded, especially as being more closed-minded. But at the same time, she doesn't want to, she doesn't want to feel the guilt of Emmett dying because of her. So basically, her deception of trying to figure out how to stop Emmett from dying, it kind of make things worse, and it kind of make things worse for her and her. For Emmett, for Emmett, her parents, and uh, for the people around her as well. So basically, we know that we know Tyler the Hyde is now free gates of Wednesday shenanigans. Trying to figure out, trying to figure out how to try, trying to figure out how to stop Emmett from dying because of her. But now that certain events are now happening because of her, it seems like Emmett's death. It seems like Emmett's death is mostly sure to become true. Mostly to see to come true. Now it's Wednesday would have been like, hey, I need you guys' help. Be like, realize that she couldn't handle things by herself, and be honest with her friends, her family, about about what's going on, about her vision of everything. You know, would have been more fun about her vision of seeing Emmett's death being caused by her. You know, maybe maybe things will work out for her better. But we just have to wait and see in the second season. So basically, there's some good plot story. So basically, the first season has some good story plots going on. So basically, we just have to wait and see how they play out in the second part of this season. So anyway, but otherwise, the first part of Wednesday season two, it it started off it starts off very good. So basically, there's some good and bad and some stupid story plots in the first half. But we just have to wait and see how they play out in the second half of the season. But like I said, the first part of Wednesday season two, starts off has some good has some has some good, bad, and some stupid story parts going on in the first part. But we just have to wait and see how things turns out in the second part. But otherwise, I gotta say the first part of Wednesday season two is okay. So anyway, that's all I got to say. So basically, I can't wait to see how the second part of Wednesday season two start. Ends out turning out. So anyway, what do you guys think about the first part of Wednesday season two? Good, bad, just nah, or whatever. Please let me know in the comments below. Anyway, starting off for Screen Reviews. One.